Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, good night, wherever you are around the world. Hello to you, or I should say, buenos dias. Right? I just joined the Latino space, and they just told me to say buenos dias. So hello, everybody. Welcome to the ENS Update Show. This is the number one space in all of Twitter. Thank you guys for being here, but more importantly, thank you guys for being early. Right, you guys are my favorite crowd. Like, I have a confession to make. I have a confession to make. Those of you who show up at this time, right? Because the show goes an hour and a half, right? We have people who don't show up until like 12 o'clock. Some show up at 12:15, and it seems to get really crowded at 12:15, 15 minutes before the show ends. It seems to get really crowded right when I'm trying to go. Everybody just bombards us all at once. So thank you guys for being here early. Thank you to the speakers. A special shout out to the speakers. You guys are so consistent, right? I know a lot of times people give 5159 the credit, but ladies and gentlemen, R1N1, when Ron is not on a work trip or on a vacation, he's as consistent as it comes. Master as well, right? The only time Master, Ron, these guys miss the show is when they have in real life obligations that they have to attend to. So um I really, to my co-hosts, I really appreciate you guys. You guys make the show what it is. Without you guys, we try to do it without y'all, right? And we did it. And other members of the community stepped up, and we had phenomenal spaces. But it's just the vintage OG when we have you guys co-hosting this thing. But ladies and gentlemen, I kind of want to get into some updates for the day that I have here. Update number one I have is three-digit ENS. The 999 Club has hit a new all-time high in dollars, right? In dollars amount, it hit a new all-time high. So that is the floor. That is a very, very bullish sign. I just seen something the other day back in December, not December, I'm sorry, back in April, you could have got a nine, you could have been a part of the 999 Club for only what, 3-4 ETH at the time. So to look how far we've come in what, 4 months, is kind of crazy. From 3 ETH to now 28 ETH, 25 ETH, 26 ETH. So what a phenomenal investment. And this is nowhere near the end, right? I think we have a lot more room to grow, a lot. We go a lot higher from here, right? We go a lot higher from here. I caught 100 ETH. I don't know if that 100 ETH is going to come by the end of the year. I don't know if it's going to come next year, but I do believe the 999 Club will hit 100 ETH. When? I'm not sure yet. Next here I have there's the looks rare story, right? So this is a very interesting story. Two things I want to touch on this. One, looks rare was was listed on OpenSea. We've seen the actual company Looksware decided that they wanted to bid on their domain, but they didn't want to buy it from OpenSea. So they placed a 50 ETH bid on their own platform. The buyer did not see the 50 ETH bid on their own platform, and then later on accepted the 18 ETH offer on OpenSea, and he later flipped it. And he didn't, once he acquired the Looksrare.eth for 18 ETH on OpenSea, he accepted the offer on the Looksrare platform. He made himself a nice little flip. What a phenomenal! Let's give a round of applause for the savviness and the smartness of that buyer, because I wish I was that smart, right? that is a quick, easy flip right there. I wish I was that smart to even think and do something like that. Um, Next thing is, I just pinned a tweet by Player One. OpenSea brought their ENS domain a couple weeks back for 100 ETH. Looks Rare bought their ENS domain today for 50 ETH. Guys, we're seeing it happen right in front of us. This is becoming a standard in Web3. First, it starts with the Web3 companies, and then I think it's trickled down to more and more Web2 companies. But it's becoming a standard where you cannot call yourself a major player in the space. You cannot call yourself, a Web3 company if you're not even sporting a dot ETH. And I think people are starting to wake up to that. People are starting to realize that these companies are realizing, oh shit, we need to protect our identities as well. Looks Rare is sporting it on Twitter, so that looks really good. But yeah, that's my updates for the day. Ron, good morning. How you doing, man?
Hey, GM. Yeah, Kevin and I were in the Latino space, and all I can say is if he and I were hosting morning show in Spanish, it would be very, 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 very short. I think we'd get the Buenos Dias and Web Trace, and then we've probably pretty much used up all our Spanish. So, yeah, good thing this is in English. But anyway, I've been listening, love what they're doing. It's just awesome, because number one, some people don't speak Spanish. Number two, it's always better to hear it your native language. I was with a guy in driving around in Africa, my wife and I, and we were talking to him, and he was talking about a book he had in English, but he said, "Oh, it's not really in our native language." And I he's a white guy who spoke English as good as me, so I figured, oh, it's English, but actually, his family spoke to him in Afrikaans, which is kind of like a Dutch, kind of from Dutch. So it was interesting. But my point is, it's never the same as being able to hear something in your own language. So that's awesome. Hats off to those guys. Great welcoming community. NFT Verse was up there chatting with them. NFT Verse is like, if you're going to translate, NFT Verse is like your dream, right? Because he just doesn't waste words, right? Everything he says is good, solid. Now, Just Shills was on there yesterday, and that was a bit of a challenge because that man can talk. And God save him if ENS Punks ever goes on their show and doesn't speak Spanish. Then I don't even know what they're going to do. But anyway, it was great. Love what they're doing. Loved that was on the call today with Master. He did an excellent job educating that Japanese community about ENS domains, and that was really great. He did an incredible job of spreading that truth. Hopefully, as it starts to pick up, more and more of us will have an outside invitations. By outside, I mean outside of our community here to talk about the domains. So we get to hear, we get all the alpha, all the education, and we can hopefully have chances to, and it'll come. They're going to be scrambling for anyone who knows about it when the inevitable happens. So anyway, looking forward to today's conversation, and yeah, always stuff happen. Really excited. I'm a pretty big investor in Lux Rare outside, in our crypto fund, because I just love the fact that they're trying hard and they're making improvements, whereas OpenSeas really isn't. So hopefully they do well. Happy to see them get their ENS name and .eth name, and yeah, looking forward to today's conversation.
Yeah, definitely, Ron. That was a pretty cool space that they had over there. I do want to say, shout out to the ENS Vision team. I don't think they're on here right now, but shout out to the ENS Vision team. They just brought on a phenomenal team member, Sadaf. I think she's going to do well for that space, for that team. I think that was a phenomenal hire. So let's continue to support Sadaf and continue to support the ENS Vision team. Master man, I was sleeping during your space. I didn't realize it was so early in the day. I went to bed really late last night, and by the time I woke up, I realized the space had ended. So, what's up, man?
Hey, good morning, man. Yeah, it's okay. I just pinned it on the top so you can replay. And it was a fun, space to have communication with the Japanese community. PLT, I think I've spelled it correctly, is the number one a so-called public chain in Japan, and it was blessed by Japanese government. So some of the countries they are very strange. People only believe in what they normally believe in. So yeah, I think they are doing the right things. They want to talk about the blockchain domains, and they want to compare to ENS, which is a very good attitude, right? You don't see that very often. Normally, they will see they are the true.com. They are the only one. The rest are rugs, something like that. But they are inviting the ENS community to be all there and they allow me to ping all the good part of ENS and tell, or they also want to be a part of it, which is incredible and great vision from them by doing so. And even the new project we think they might not be valuable. Even so, we should still be very welcoming them to get on boarding here, as I mentioned, because new communities, guys, will be relying on them to educate. And we only have this batch of people. It's done, but we need incremental. Who is going to bring us incremental? They do. Okay, they are going to dig in their own market and their own community, what they are doing, what they are good at. And the people they transfer into the blockchain domain, they transfer into the hash association. Those people, those new users will have their own mind to consider and compare, and then they will realize that maybe ENS is better than that. Then they will do the right things themselves. So it's still I mean, it's still a blue ocean. We are still early, and we need more projects like them, and the project owners have that vision and so that open, attitude to make it to make the overall cake bigger. So I think, yeah, it was a great community. It was a great space, and the questions are very good. They are very nice, and they very much respect to ENS community. And also they mentioned one part of their own name service to be one justification is ENS is very expensive for the good names. So maybe you can consider to have some of the cost competitive ones. For example, he said, for example, like he found Tokyo.east was already 100 east. It's too expensive. He cannot get it. But I was wondering, oh, that was my domain, man. But I didn't say that. It was very interesting during the whole, space. Yeah, actually, this is my third conference call after after my get back to my home. So I have 90 minutes with the Japanese community. I have 1 hour afterwards, no break, with the red letter core team the to determine of the development progress. And yeah, the third one today, I think we all see the Lux Rare project got a very interesting move, because they put the luxrare.is on the Twitter handle finally. And they always comment on lots of the sales and transactions in a very vivid way. If you go to their Twitter and see, I think this is a very interesting project. And but they are doing a very dangerous thing yesterday. They see the domains listed by 50. They didn't snipe it directly, but make an offer. And and what was a more interesting thing is that the previous owner was blind, right? He cannot see the, looks rare, got that offer. He didn't read newspaper. He didn't subscribe, whatever his name, quoting or those reminding messages, which makes that guy who makes that 18 east of the W east, get an opportunity to make the 32 east profit shortly. And I feel we are, everyone here, we are so lucky that the name got sold, so that looks regarded, the community will be stronger. And what if that buyer has is kind of a more iron hand? What if he asks for more? What if he asks for 60 and he won't take the 50? What if he asks for 420.69? What if he asks for 1,000? Right? So we are all lucky that we have a stronger, very strong, members in this community, which is Luxray on board, and the biggest platforms of NFT market, OpenSea and Luxray, they both on board, which is perfect. This will be a sample. There will be a sheep, effect for the rest to follow them to do the same thing. Luxray, super rare, OpenSea, X2, lots of ENS vision, they're doing this already. So yeah, lots of projects will be following this, and exchanges as well, wallets as well, browsers as well. Sooner or later, all the crypto project will be, ashamed, or they will be shy if they don't have their own names, because this should be the basic education. Like everyone should know it. Otherwise, I don't think they are diligent enough to do that. Every time I see some of the offer in A platform, while have a problem with the B platform, that remind me of that Franklin's story of being rugged for 100 East on a shit name. But this time, I'm glad that eventually it ended up in a good story. Congratulations to Luxray, and congratulations to the whole ENS family. That we have a new member, a super strong member to come in, and who really knows about this, and so happy that buyer only 32 East is good for his appetite. So yeah, I think we are all very lucky. We are all here today, and I said a million times, but I'm still going to say every day a good day, every news a good news. So today, very good news. Congratulations to you all.
Hey, I wanted to say, Master, yeah, did a phenomenal job. I was laughing my ass off when they were talking about Tokyo.com. Obviously, they're Japanese, right? And so they looked up Tokyo.eth, and I was laughing my ass off because I know they didn't know that Master owned it, right? But he's a hell of a poker player. He didn't say a thing, so that was very, very funny. But Master makes a good point. It's always better to build bridges than walls. Build common ground because it's a gateway. It's a gateway to potential ENS names and .eth names. They may, because they're part of that community, they may very well be rocking their name, but that doesn't mean they're not going to be buying and investing in ENS. So yeah, build on common ground. That's the best way to have a discussion with people. And Master put on a, no pun intended, a master class. I was very impressed with them, and I was very impressed with Master. It was definitely, give it a listen if you haven't heard it yet.
Wow, I will. I definitely will. Ladies and gentlemen, Crypto Reporter just pinned up something great here. The total number of Ethereum addresses has surpassed 2.1 million. We just hit 2 million, right? So look at the rate at this thing is growing at. We'll be at 3 million. I think for sure. Probably in the next couple of weeks, the way this thing is going. But let's keep the show moving right along. We have yeah, let's go over to Crypto Reporter. Crypto Reporter, man, how you doing today, man?
What's going on, guys? GM. Sorry about yesterday. Had some in real life stuff. Had to attend a funeral. So, if anything, I was, you got to kind of balance it out, right? Like, other than that, I like to stay consistent with the space because it really seems like everything is happening every day. So, real quick shout out to 5159, the co-host Ron, Master, amazing space. I didn't get to attend the full thing earlier, but I was there for the Tokyo part, and I was like, wait a minute, I know who owns that. So yeah, I was laughing my ass off too. It was great to see, great to see. But yeah, crazy, right? As soon as we talk about ENS all the time, and it seems like I feel like someone is listening because Roger Guru just came out with that 2.1 million, and it seems like yesterday we were just talking about 2 million and really thinking that was awesome. In itself. I think that this is really a grassroots project. I mean, you see sometimes the ENS DAO being able to speak about the project and things like that, but honestly, I think it's really in part due to this community that has really started to see that growth. So honestly, I think that it's important to keep building in the space to kind of keep building those different connections because we have some very smart people on here, and I've had the honor of working with Master, with Gary, with just Sean. And it's great because you never know. This thing could be like your resume. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Because I think the very first one that I started really repping, the very first ENS name was Web3 intern, right? And I guess because of that name, I was able to work with the people in the space. And now I'm crypto reporter, and then that got me another another little gig with Gary. So now I'm able to speak with different people and write about different articles. So your name can be your identity, and you never know who you're going to run into in this space. So I would just advise, keep smart, keep consistent, keep networking, keep growing because, oh, 3 million is going to be hit very soon. I believe it. You're starting to see marketplaces now do it as well. Like Looks Rare, OpenSea, you're starting to see actual exchanges purchase these things as if they were actual assets. I think that's a very bullish sign. So I'm really looking forward to what happens today because something crazy. It's like every day something happens now at this point. So thank you for Kev for letting me speak, and yeah, I look forward to everything that's happening today.
Yeah, from my perspective, this is a super bullish signal for Watchdog Guru to report ENS, whole news. Not because ENS, I see two super bullish signal here. First is ENS registration surpassed 2.1 million, right? Everyone knows it. But second is Watchdog Guru will, report the number like 2.1 million. It's not even a whole number, right? Usually they do report like when it passed 1 million or 2 million or 10 million or 5 million maybe. But 2.1, they even send another update. Why don't they send an update of 2.11, 2.12? That means they care about ENS. ENS is something now. It is something that they want to get more eyeballs. And right, we are stronger. We are much stronger when this space was firstly, held by, March or April this year, which was just like yesterday. So yeah, we are, because we have each other, because of the community, because our hero 51599 diligently hosted this on daily basis. We are here today. So that's Watchdog Guru. Maybe later he will even report that the ENS registration has surpassed, 2.1529 million, something like that. Yeah, just for fun, but it's super bullish signal.
Super bullish indeed. The hero 5159. I like that. Thank you, Master. Let's keep the show moving right along here, ladies and gentlemen. We have Mafiko on stage. Mafiko tagged me in a very interesting article yesterday. So, Mafiko, the stage is yours. How you doing, man?
Yeah, I'm good, Kev. Sorry, which article did I tag you in? I feel like I tag you in like 10 things a day.
Oh, where Web3 believers. I pinned it to the top where.
Oh yeah, easy. Yeah, perfect. Thanks, Kev. Yeah, so I'm doing really well. It's great to be here. Great to see the space continue to grow, and great to see this community growing as well. So I've spent the better half of this week really focus on the research side of ENS and Web3. So by research meaning more around like the practical research, so like industry reports and that kind of space, but also academic research. Um, so two things I want to mention really quickly. There's another report, Kev. I haven't tagged you in this, but it was a report by a financial advisory company that basically connects institutional investors to Web3. They released a report called NFT Digital Identities. I'll see if I can find it later on as we go into space. And so I was really excited because I was like, "Wow, NFT digital identities! Surely they'll be mentioning the ENS." And they literally didn't mention ENS. I mean, it's a great report, a lot of great insights in there, but ENS was not mentioned at all in the report. And this is a report that had input for some of the top people in our space, like Punk 6529 provided input into this report. G Money provided input into this report, and no one mentioned ENS. So I'm just kind of scratching my head, and I've actually got a meeting with the people who developed that report later on, or early next week, and so hopefully we'll be able to get a bit of an understanding in terms of why ENS was missed, or do they not know about ENS, and so we can start to get that conversation going. So that's more on the practical side on research. Second thing I want to mention, as a assistant professor, I've been doing a lot of work, academic work on Web3, and I've been actually reaching out to other professors around the world who are in this space. And you'll be surprised in terms of professors who focus on entrepreneurship. There's probably about five academics in the world at the moment who are interested in Web3, which is crazy, and that includes me. So it's a very small community, and there's only one actual published paper on NFTs at the moment. And so I reached out to the professor. He's based in Hong Kong, and we're having discussions in terms of collaborating, and so really looking to build up this community of Web3 academics, and hopefully to get more of them into these kind of spaces, because I feel most of the time academics, they don't spend enough time really in the trenches understanding the phenomena that they're studying. Certainly for me, it's always been the case. I can't write on something I don't know or understand. Hence why I'm here often a lot of the time and working with Kevin and you guys on different things. So I just want to highlight that in terms of that academic research, because if we can get more of those people involved and engaged in the space, that naturally would translate into the classroom. And academics are in a very influential position in terms of developing courses for either undergraduate students or MBA students who are going to be the future leaders in prominent positions in the future. So if they understand this space well, if that then translates into terms of curriculum, in terms of the education system, then you're going to see the next crop of leaders coming through in 3 to 5 years in prominent positions, having a good understanding of Web3, having a good understanding of ENS, and that's going to then lead to, I believe, in terms of helping that mainstream adoption. So I'm doing as best as I can on the research front, yeah, the more you guys do in terms of just being active helps me a lot in terms of bringing those kind of people into this space. Final thing, before I'm quiet for the rest of this space, is this post that Kev has pinned up top. So this is a really interesting post for me because this person was very critical, uh, in a good way, I believe, in terms of understanding what are going to be the hindrances or the barriers to Web3 adoption. Obviously, we all believe that Web3 will continue to grow. Certainly, we're seeing it every day. But this person was highlighting that, and I like what they said at the very end. If I can see if I can bring it up. So they say the masses won't embrace Web3 until easy to use, zero cost solutions emerge that reduce expensive mistakes and scary outcomes to negligible levels. I think this is a really important thing for all of us to consider. If you read that sentence, you understand obviously that ENS has a large role to play there in terms of really making it easy to use this Web3 space that we operate in. So I think that's a huge tick in terms of what ENS is about and where ENS's role in the future that we all believe. I think one thing that is not uh, clear at the moment is the fact that when things are on chain, they're not reversible. I think we're all used to, most people in day to day are used to, if you fuck up a transaction, you call your bank or something, you can get that reversed. But on chain, that's not a situation. That's not something that can be done. If you mess up, and then the money's gone. And so I think that is something we just need to think more about in terms of how do we address that for the mainstream. I think that would be a big challenge for a lot of people, but just something for all of us to consider and to think about. Not necessarily in terms of how ENS can address that, but just in terms of thinking about the blockchain and how we can make it as risks free as possible for people to engage in this space. That's all for me.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, give a round of applause for Mafiko. When Mafiko speaks, you guys are getting a free university lecture that students are paying hundreds of thousands of dollars to listen to, and he comes on here and he gives those gems for free. Yeah, I agree, and I appreciate your efforts, Mafiko. I think it's so huge into how we develop as individuals based off of what they're telling us and teaching us, because that's essentially all you really experience. So if the education system embraces Web3, then we're slowly going to see that trickle effect. Makes sense. Thank you a lot for coming up and sharing that with us. Let's go on over to the lovely 3402. 3402, how you doing today?
Doing great. Doing great. Good morning, everyone. And Kev, Ron, Master, community. I love being here. I'm not always able to be here, but when I am, it's the best part of my day for sure. Hearing everybody has such insightful things to say. I learned so much on the show. I just wanted to start off by saying one of the leaders in our space made a huge announcement yesterday. Our Queen Sadaf will be joining ENS Vision, and we are so proud of her. She's been putting in a ton of work doing all these TikToks and just really educating and onboarding. So we are so proud of her. I was also looking at some of the 3 letters are starting to sell only for about 1.4, I think that was. But I'm just waiting for those to really pop off, because I did see God.eth had a 40 ETH offer, but that's one of the obviously the best 3, one of the best 3 letters. Also, I saw that the 999 Club had with the 24-hour volume was 110.4 ETH, which is pretty amazing to see. It's still pumping. And then I also saw, and I kind of wanted to get people's opinions, I saw a 16-digit sell for 1.1 ETH, and it just, I don't really understand. It was just random numbers, so that was surprising to see. And lastly, I'll just mention the Gitcoin grants are live for round 15, which will be giving away $69,000. So go create a grant if you are interested. And thank you for having me on. I look forward to the rest of the speakers.
Hey, 3402, thanks. Always great to hear from you. Yeah. And thanks for shouting out Sadif. She does an awesome job in the space, as do you, hosting the different shows and always being there and supportive. So it's great. And also shouting out the three digits. You know, they're undervalued, and I don't have a PhD like Nafiko, but if I look at I can do simple math, very simple math, and if I look at like a 29 floor on the three digits, then I know that there's exactly 10 times the supply in the four digits. And so they should be 2.9 ETH in theory, right? Assuming there's enough. And the reason they aren't is there's not enough people, there's not enough demand, the space isn't big enough yet. But long term, I can't see how those don't come more in parity. And certainly the three digits, like 3402 said, you know, are gonna pop off one day because there's only, I think, what, 17,500 or something of those. So they're going to be grails. I guarantee it at some point. And I know it's the $640 is what's holding people back. And that's something to consider because if you have to pay for it for 3 years, you know, you're into it a couple of grand. So, but yeah, it's definitely happening and super proud of Sadif and know she'll continue to help push ENS vision to new levels. So I'm super excited about that situation.
When the three letters run, they're gonna run, and they're gonna run that many of us will look back and say, "Damn, it was right in front of us. It was right in front of me the whole entire time, but I never pulled the trigger." Ladies and gentlemen, I am a firm, true believer in three-letter ENS domains. I only own two because they have a extreme carry cost to them, and I I renew them and I extend it for increments at a time. It is expensive. You don't have to extend it for the whole month. I mean the whole year. You can extend it for like 3 months, 2 months, 4 months at a time, whatever your financial situation is. But I'm doing myself a disservice if I don't own them. And I go back to saying this, what I'm saying. Compared to their .com counterparts, and this is not the .com, this is .eth, right? This is a completely different game, somewhat. They have the still have room to 1000x from here. They're the only, compared to the three digits, the four digits, all these other domains, they already are getting inching closer and closer to what their .com value is, right? The average four digit on a .com, you could probably, let's say like 50,000. You know, you could get three letters right now that got sold in the .com for $500,000. That got sold for the .com at $250,000. That got sold in the .com at $1 million. That got sold for six figures, right? Those are still out there available for what? $200, $100 plus a $600 carry fee, $800. So just think about that. Do your research on it. It's not cheap. So if you're gonna go and get a three letter, make sure you have full conviction that you're gonna about to take a while. But I do know the same way with the three digit. When a couple people came in and said the three digits are cool, and it started running off, and you look back at it, and it's unattainable for at least most of us at this point now. I think the same thing will kind of happen with the three letters. So just keep that in mind. We'll keep the show moving right along here, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go to ENS Academy. ENS Academy. Good morning. How you doing, man?
Good morning. Thank you, Kev. Thank you. And good morning to everyone in the audience. It's like every day I feel like we're a family. I miss you guys if I miss a morning show. It's like I want to hear your voices. It's awesome. I wanted to just announce our space. I'm gonna pin it. We have a space coming up in a couple of hours. Well, it's like in about 12 p.m. CST with Asteroids, which is a decentralized search engine for decentralized websites. The speaker is Neiman, who's the founder of that project. And yeah, come over, bring your questions, check out that tool. It's really great. You can go and see all the websites that have been deployed. using their ENS names, and you can get inspired to start your own website, start your own project. It's awesome. And also, I want to mention that next week we don't have the announcement yet, but we will be focused on subdomains, and also we have spaces on soulbound tokens and how soulbound tokens will be utilized in the future, and what that means to ENS. So we have a few spaces coming up. We'd love so please follow us and support us, and we'd love to see you in our spaces. Thank you, Kev, and let's get back to the show.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you. Let's go over here to ENS Punks. ENS Punks, good morning, man. How you doing?
Yo, bueno dia, 5159. That's that
Thank you.
BD or GM. So
I,
we'll just kick it off. I don't know if, oh,
Punk,
sorry, go ahead.
I think you have to put the S in the Buenos Dias. I think it's the S at the end or Z at the end.
Oh, not when you're from Miami. We throw out that Cuban Spanish. We say bueno dia.
Got you. Okay, keep it going, bro.
Yeah, so there is an S on it, but yeah, you got to come to old Miami and see how we get down. We drop the S's from time to time. So yeah, to carry off, like Ron said, I don't know if my PFP updated, but I did throw up the ENS Maxi for the space. If sometimes when you update it, other people don't see it, but I'm rocking the Maxi right now. Just to shout out our guy Ron, he did gift it to me yesterday after Flexer offered to gift me one. But really, I wanted to give back to the community, so when he gifted it to me, I went ahead and I bought two, and I carried it forward. I gave one of them to Mrs. Marvel, and I gave one of them to Just Shills. So shout out to those two people. Shout out to Ron. Shout out to the ENS Maxi community. I went into the ENS Maxi space last night. It's fun. Ron is up there. Ron's getting down. Ron's turning it up to 11 in those ENS Maxi spaces. So you get that other side of Ron, which is really nice. Just cracks you up the whole time, a little bit like the Friday night happy hour. So, share the love. We're in 5159 space. And this is like, I don't even know what to call it, the town hall, that morning business meeting Monday through Friday. So you got to be here to know what's going on, but you also got to continue to support, show the love. Also to kind of touch on those two people a little bit, why I decided to give it to Mrs. Marvel and Just Shills. Number one, Ron, he said, God forbid, ENS Punks makes it into that ENS Latino space, and he starts talking because I'm, long-winded. I am verbose for sure. But your boy ENS Punks, he's no dummy. I definitely got a few hundred words. I got some Spanish down, so don't get it twisted. Lucky to be born here. In fact, early on, when I was doing a lot of spaces, Bread Girl was around. One of the things we learned was her spirit animal is whiskey, which I absolutely love. And I actually said, look, I think what people should start doing, I dated, I used to date girls here in Miami, but from different countries in South America, Central America. And so I happened to just pick up on like every country sort of has their own national liquor. And just because she said that, knowing that some of the biggest sales from the .com era would be things like vodka.com, like, these generic liquors, just as you imagine they would be. But I thought, you'd start getting these South American liquors like your piscos, your aguardientes, your mezcal. And funny enough, everybody was making fun of me, like I don't know what I'm talking about. Then the next thing you know, our guy Pisco Sour Dottie jumped in the space like completely random to prove the point. But it just goes to show I talk a lot because. So yeah, he's right. God forbid. And I'll say this: I did these websites for all the queens. Mrs. Marvel is the first to really take me up on my offer. I want to teach everybody as much knowledge as I have. And poor Mrs. Marvel, she was on the horn with me for about 90 minutes. So I felt so terrible about that, having to deal with me one-on-one for 90 minutes. I felt I got to buy her a maxi, pay it forward. And I'll just kind of shout out Just Shills. He's been helping me in 3402 sort of promote the spaces we're doing to help promote the GR15 grants. And I've had the pleasure of kind of talking to Just Shills in the background. And, we all know how positive he is, but my man is sincere. We always talk about the good, the growth. Again, this is that town hall, this is that business meeting. We're always positive, like Master says, every day in ENS is a good day. But make no mistake, we are real people. We live in the real world, all have real problems. Just one of us, somebody we all know and love in the space. In fact, Crypto Reporter just said, he had some in real world stuff. He went to a funeral right yesterday. So want to shout out to him specially and say, I'm sorry to hear that. I hope you're all right. But another, one of the beloved community members lost somebody close to him. It just shows, let me know. And, just shows encouragement actually, because like it hit me hard. Why don't you say a prayer? And I did. I said a prayer. I don't pray often, but I did, for a guy who lost somebody close to him in the community. I gave a prayer for Just Shills himself for just saying that. And, think about people in this space, reach out to people in this space. Somebody else, kind of mentioned somebody who's not around anymore. Our guy Belize.eth. And I thought to myself, man, I miss Belize. So I reached out to him just to let him know, man, we all miss him. I hope he's doing all right. And he responded. He's out there. So, we are people. We're not just out here, doing the damn thing all the time. We got stuff going on. So, support each other in this space, but make those relationships and get to know people here. It is special. That's what makes it special. The community here, again, it's decentralized. So it's not ICANN. It's not, this soulless thing. The community is developing a culture, and that's huge. That's what's going to kind of drive people here. It's what's going to light people's souls on fire the way all of our souls are lit on fire. You can hear the passion in people's voices. They love this stuff. And, just keep that in mind. And so shout out everybody. And then the last thing, we've got this space today with Greg. He is a serious developer. In fact, the ENS DAO just created, it's like experimental, they call it, but it's a fellowship. So just yesterday they created the fellowship and named the first fellow. It happens to be Greg, the very dev. Me and 3402 are going to be a guest on our space later today. And he's got a $50,000 grant from this fellowship. So again, the DAO is doing things. They are recognizing and rewarding builders. And the $69,000 in matching funds. Now we've got a fellowship and $50,000 grant for a single dev. And so I just want to keep encouraging everybody, keep doing the work. Master said how hard he's working. He doesn't even have time in between these spaces. He's on to the next one. So Master, good job. We all love what you're doing. And sometimes it does feel thankless. I guess because it never feels thankless to me. But you never know. So when you see people putting in the work, give them that love, recognition, acknowledgement, show them how valuable they are to the community, but to yourself personally. It's the least anybody can do. So that said, retweet this space, give it a like, and it's those easy little things, and just keep being the best of yourselves. Y'all are doing a fantastic job.
Wow, Punks, that was deep, man. I feel that. I really do feel that, right? Outside of these spaces, we see the PFPs. We see the PFPs, we see the profile pictures, we see the dotties, and we all have things, challenges, adversities that we deal with outside of Twitter, right? And we all have real lives and real things and real life situations that happen outside of Twitter. So it's important what Punk said to just check up on somebody, have a conversation with somebody, right? And I appreciate everybody who reached out to me. Those words, those words helped keep me going. So yeah, I love that Punk. So that was a great segment from you today. 34-2, go ahead.
Oh yeah, just really quick. I wanted to say I also randomly sent Belize.eth a message yesterday because yeah, we notice when people aren't here and we're a family, so it is noticeable and we care about each other. So I think that's what makes this community so great. And I also just wanted to shout out somebody down in the audience, Cash.eth, he did message me, and apparently that 16-digit number was not just random. It's a Fibonacci number or series. So if anybody knows what that is, that's what that was.
Fibonacci.
Yeah.
It's Fibonacci's a technical analysis theory, or and it's very important. There's certain numbers that's very, very important to people who are doing technical analysis, whether it's on crypto or stocks. So yeah, that
Yeah,
makes sense.
copy and paste that number right into Google, and you'll see like some beautiful Fibonacci sequence art. It's kind of like my header photo, except the ones are more intricate. You think like flowers and seashells and things like that, and that number is like a mathematical number of that. Yeah, people are crazy, man. Yeah, people are still minting out digits of pi, and people are, I'm personally in favor of the prime numbers. Like any number that's a prime number, no matter how big or small, I think is cool. There's like all these new clubs. It's amazing, but yeah, people love the numbers.
Yeah, I was told that only I got DM. I don't know if it got DM by the same guy, but he said only nerds would know that. So don't feel too bad for for not knowing what that was. I surely didn't know what that was either. So let's keep the show moving right along here. We have my boy Julio. Julio, the stage is yours, man.
Hey, what's up, guys? Thanks for having me on. I wasn't gonna jump on today because I don't like to take much of a protagonist role when so many good people are talking, but you guys were saying buenos dias and you guys were saying ENS Latino, and I just had to come up here and show some love to y'all, especially to Kevin and Mr. NFT Verse that came up to our space earlier, and they were talking in English and just giving some words of courage and feedback to our community, and we were able to translate. So along those lines, thank you guys. And the same for ENS Punks that was saying that, he's long-winded, he doesn't want to jump on, but we encourage you, man, if you want to come on and say some words in Spanish, with your extensive vocabulary from Cuban Miami. If you want to come on, you're more than welcome. And just also want to say to ENS Punks and to 3402, thank you for the opportunity of speaking the other day in your space and giving me some good feedback on the Gitcoin grants. I was able to submit an application for our community, so just wanted to let you guys know that what you guys are doing here and giving the opportunity to people like me and John Wayne and ENS Latino to come up and speak and get answers is very impactful. And just wanted to let you know that we're moving down the line, and hopefully we have some positive news, but in the minimum, we were able to do this, with some help and some guidance from people like you, and the opportunity of having spaces like this that Kevin is hosting, and then our Mr. Ron and Master. Thank you, everyone. But yeah, I just wanted to say a quick hello, and you guys are always welcome in our community, and just wanted to say buenos dias, familia ENS.
Yes, sir. La Familia. I love it. I love it. I love it. We have Dr. Titfuck on stage. Dr. Titfuck, the stage is yours.
Yeah, we all know which doctor is at the mic. Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for bringing me up. And I'm more than proud to listen to these words, because maybe I was a little bit too fast with my humanity Robin Hood era. But yeah, we all need this. We know. Thank you, ENS Punks, for giving us your time to say this. Yeah, I was missing a lot of people too, of course. I have to say sorry for minimum, I don't know how many people. I don't know if these people are able to take it, but yeah, this time is X100, and sometimes the emotions are not that fast like our time in here, and some privacy are going over the line too. And then I don't know, I don't want to waste your time. I have to say, to not only to the whole audience, to special people here, more than sorry. And yeah, thank you so much for feeling and listening to some words which are getting me really harmful and uncomfortable, because yeah, this is a family. Yeah, I was passionate all the time, and I'm more than sorry to got aggressive only cause of passionated. This is not your party. It has to be my party out of the Twitter spaces. Sorry and thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Titfuck. That was good. We'll keep it moving. Moving here. If you haven't spoke, please put your hand up so I know what order to go in. We kind of have quite a few people here with quite a few speakers on stage here. Just Shills. Good morning, man. How you doing?
GM 5159. Are you able to hear me okay, sir?
Yes, sir.
Man, awesome, bro. Like this is the space where everything gets back to the day to the basics. And it's so important to understand that and we're able to enjoy reap the fruits on the tree because of you, because you're able to put everybody here together. So thank you for doing that. Totally appreciate it. Master, I just want to say it was a pure pleasure listening to your wisdom in a different space today. I did come in late, but I actually was so intrigued because I went back and I listened to the whole space. So that was just pure nuggets. And thank you for doing that. And I I really liked how people went crazy when you said RICH.ETH, and your vision behind the ownership of Rich, and how you declined the offer. So that was just totally amazing because you actually preach what you do, and I just love that fact about you. So I just want to say thank you for that, and I totally appreciate it, Ron. You're just nothing but a whole bag of gold, my man. You just rock. Like any time of the day, whenever you speak, it's just so much fun, and I really appreciate it. I do really want to take out a time to give a special shout out to someone. His name is Flexter. I own JustShills.eth. Apparently, he owned JustShill.eth. I never knew about it. But yesterday, it got dropped down in my wallet, and I wasn't really sure what it was, where it came from. And then there was just so much happening. The official Twitter from Crypto Expo Dubai has given me a shout out. So just wanted to share that with you that this is a major footprint for the entire community. So I've gotten the alpha from here, and that's where I kind of took it to. And so I just want to say thank you to everyone. You all played a very important part in me, and I just want to say thank you because the credit always goes back to you. And then I called, I was on the phone with somebody, and he spent almost a good amount of time trying to figure out where did this justchill.eth came from. Um, and then we ended up going to OpenSea, the whole 9 yards. And that's where I realized it was Flexter who sent me that justchill.eth, man. And I just want to say thank you for doing that. You really didn't have to do that. But the fact that you protected my identity was really, it really means a lot to me. So I just want to say special shout out to you. You touched me in a very different way. And then, right after that, while I was trying to figure out who sent me the justshuttle.eth, ENS Punks goes out and makes even a bigger play. So I just want to say thank you for your leadership, ENS Punks. Like, out of nowhere, you were able to identify me, and then you allowed me such a platform to be able to promote something like Gitcoin and ENS DAO. And guys, if you don't know what's really happening, there's going to be a space, and I just want you to join. And I can also tell you, I cannot be thankful enough because there's so many people that are reaching out to me to figure out how to apply and whatnot. And man, get back to the basics, man. You have to be joining these spaces, these spaces that is being holded by the one and only 3402. The queen that's been taking this to the next step, and then obviously Ines Punks, who's coordinating and putting efforts to such a positive impact. And I'm very, very positive. There's just so much going to be growth coming in. And I want to say thank you to Maintainer because we used his growth. And I don't want to really butcher his quote, but it kind of says this that your idea doesn't really need to make money, because an idea can create influence for others to make a bigger impact. So just wanted to say thank you everybody for hosting this amazing space, and I just can't thank enough. And I'm going to be having Crypto Expo Dubai also. They were looking to host a space with me. But if I have you guys' permission, I'd rather have him come in to such a massive place, which is the ENS Updates, because together we can all give him so much more value than just one person. So I'd really love to hear your feedback on it, because I feel like this is a community effort, and together we should all shine, and together we'll all grow. Thank you so much, guys. Totally appreciate you guys.
Thank you, Just Shields. Thank you, Just Shields, and I hope all is well with you, brother. I know they said you're going through some things, so hope all is well, man. Let's go over to Gary, and then we'll go to the NFT verse.
GM, everybody.
Gary's.
VD as well. Sunshine emoji.
Bro, you're lagging a little bit.
Oh no, that's no good. If I wait a second and say, "Can you hear me now?" Does it better?
Yeah, it's good. It's good now.
Okay. I just wanted to say, super excited to see the Looks Rare sale, and really excited to see that adoption, and really excited for everyone in here and everyone's help, and to got a call coming in, just canceled that. And everyone's like spreading the word, helping other people, learn about the names. Like it's always a lot of fun, like talking about the clubs and the Fibonacci numbers and all these different numbers. And the 3 letters, wildly undervalued, right? Just go to acronym finder, go to Google, type acronym finder, pop into any 3 letters, like that are on the floor for ENS, and just look at all the opportunity, all the possibility of things that do exist or things that will exist. I mean, major flex with those, even though they have a high carry. But part of that is us like getting this word out, and there's 2 different audiences. There's this Web3 audience of people in our space. There's major influencers in crypto and NFTs. And can you believe they're not talking about ENS? Some of them even have an ENS name, and they're still not talking about ENS. It's just sort of shocking to me. But, that's where we come in, because every one of us has a voice, which is why everyone should have one ENS token. But that's a topic for another conversation. Everyone here has a voice. And, share with your favorite influencers. Just tell them, say like, hey, I love your content, but I love your content, and I would love to get some of your content about ENS, right? Or I love your service, and I just encourage you guys to, to secure your ENS, or, or check out signing with Ethereum, right? Just these little steps. Like, think about what a major effect that Looks Rare is going to potentially have inside the ENS space. Updating their Twitter handle, the subdomains coming out. They're obviously thinking about this, right? They paid an extra 20 Ethereum just to get the name off their own platform. They're obviously thinking about this. What's coming down the pipeline? There's more. There's like what the things that we know, that and then there's the things that we can imagine that we don't know, and then there's things that we just don't know. And each of these little 1%, like it's not about having the best service anymore. It's like ENS is the best. ENS has won this huge level of network effect. Like they couldn't stop this if they wanted to. And so we just got to push harder and share, create content, share information with people, so everyone secures their identity. Every business, every influencer, every person. And we just got to continue this momentum from all these different players. That's why I'm a big fan of, when there's a brand out there, if they're interested, if they can get their name like Looks Rare did. I'm glad that it wasn't like, I mean, just I'm glad that both parties were happy with the price. You know what I mean? And the name wrapper coming out by the end of September. It's just I can't contain how excited I am for the technological developments that are coming, and for all the new things that normal users are going to be seeing when they're purchasing NFTs or when they're interacting with smart contracts, right? Like the developers are just starting to realize like the possibility, and just seeing, Looks Rare. I mean, it's like boxing, and we're watching a boxing match, and the news is just being hit over and over and over again. You have Coinbase making news for better or for worse with their implementation. You have Huobi with their implementation actually using .eth names. You have Looks Rare. It's just like bam, 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 bam. Number of sales going up another 0.1 million in just like a couple of weeks here. I just want to encourage us. How can we do like a little bit more for just passionately communicating with the services and the influencers in our life to say, we love 5159, but this can't be the only place in the world that people talk about this.
Or maybe it can, Gary. Maybe
It
it
Well,
can.
you
is,
need a
Gary.
24-hour
It is,
show
man.
then, Cav. You need a 24-hour show. We need programming. This has got to be like NBC, CBS. Like, who's on the 10 o'clock show? Kev's on the 11 o'clock show. Who's on the 1 o'clock show? Come on, man. We like
Hey,
24-hour
Brian.
live
Brian
streaming on
Stelter's
YouTube.
available. Brian Stelter's available. Should we get him, Gare?
I would say not. That could be a ratings disaster. We need to bring this on the upswing. We'll hire Jim Cramer to say ENS is going to zero, and then everybody
No.
Exactly. Now there we're
then
talking.
everybody will know ENS is going to the moon.
Oh man, that is hilarious, man. Yeah, I agree. I'm itching for more ENS content, right? I'm itching for more ENS content, and I think I'm just gonna go ahead and be that guy who creates more ENS content because I'm itching for it. Outside of these spaces, I want to listen to more ENS. I want to learn more about this, hear more about this. So, yeah, we'll see what's going on. The good thing, Gary, is the platform that I'm using to convert these over to YouTube. They're going to allow me to convert these over directly to Spotify, I believe, as a podcast. So. I can't wait till that upgrade and that feature comes out. I look very, very forward to that because it's such a pain. It's such a mundane. I'm not a mundane type of guy, like the technical. I don't to download it and to convert it, and it's too much work for me, right? I just want to be able to click one or two buttons and everything is just streamlined for me, ready to go. I want to do the thinking and not the clicking. Let's go over to the NFT verse. NFT verse, the stage is yours, man.
Hey, GM, GN, Buenos Dias, everything and all of that. First of all, 5159, thanks for hosting the best show on Twitter. We appreciate you always taking time out to do this. This is your calling, bro. So, continue to build. And if you're going to extend out pieces out there, you can bet I'll be there to support you. Ron, co-host and master, the other co-hosts, to the speakers on the panel here, and to the whole entire community. Welcome again to the ENS Update Show. Master, I was in your space this morning. It was amazing, man. I love how you educated the whole entire group on that space. It was about 400, almost 500 people. I think it ended up being like 1,000 people maybe viewed that tapped into that particular space. And everything, man, your gems in there, Master. You were really focusing on ENS and teaching them the benefits around what the ENS protocol and framework is all about. So we appreciate you always being that advocate and being able to extend out your knowledge and understanding to some of the new people out there who don't really understand what ENS is about. Appreciate that. The other thing I want to touch on is the ENS Latino space. I jumped in there also this morning, and man, it's a great community there that they're building. Awesome community. We're building Web3 bridges here. In order to make sure that this protocol has no borders. We talk about that all the time, and I think it's important that we continue to build and reach out and support our fellow brothers and sisters in the ENS family as we start to build and see all of these things that we've always talked about on here and continue to talk about come to fruition. And it's going to take a whole worldwide effort in order to get the mass adoption that we all are looking for. And we have groups out there who are on the feet on the ground who are actually doing that. So that's super important. The other thing is that I was late today. Kev, I was late today. I got IRL stuff I had to take care of. And I know I'm always talking about other people who are late, especially at the happy hour, and people who are not, coming to their job on time. I was late today and I admit it. At least I can come here and say that I was late and I can admit it. But I did text Kev and DM Kev and told him I was going to be late. So if some of my people who are in the happy hour can give me that courtesy sometimes and tap in and send me a DM and let me know you're going to be late to the bar, that would be great. But just being funny. But
I
one
know
of the
you're
things,
not talking about me, NFT verse.
I'm not 34-2, of course not. One of the things that we have to realize sometimes when we're in this space so early is that sometimes you got to do IRL stuff in order to finance your dream. I'm trying to finance my dream, with Web3 and building and being able to acquire certain assets here. So sometimes you got to do the IRL stuff in order to finance your dream. That's important. And two more things, Kevin. I'm done. Dr. F, by you coming up here and apologizing to the whole entire community, that was big of you to do that. I wanted to call you out and tell you that was special, and I hope that you mean that, with all your heart, because there are a lot of people in here, and you do get the missing people here in here when you don't hear their voices and when you can't collaborate and talk to them. It's an important part of building, and we go through rough patches in building. But for you to come here and I don't even know if he's here anymore, but for you to come here and admit, your faults and also, still want to be part of this community, that's huge. That you were able to man up and come in here and do that, man. I applaud you for that. And the last two things, Kev and Gary, you guys kind of talked about the three letters and the high value that the three letters would bring, which is huge, right? But what I also want to touch on is, for the people out there who can't, who want to get into the space, who probably can't afford the three letters, is that look at some of the four-letter acronyms out there too. That's a drop down from the three-letter, but there's also some value in those too if you do your research. And also, if you can't afford the four-letter acronyms, there's some pretty rare and good five-letter acronyms out there, which will also provide a certain, and that five-letter one will only cost you a $5 annual renewal fee. So if you're new in here and you're looking to kind of experiment and dig into those particular domains, take a look at the four-letter and five-letter. So that'll give you somewhat of an entry point into ENS. But I look forward to the discussion, man. Kev, I'm sorry I was late. Thanks for all the support as usual, and I look forward to the continued conversation, guys. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. NFT verse, all good, man. You're not getting paid to these things, so where your obligation is where you're getting paid, how you're paying the bills, that's priority, brother. So all good. And I think NFT verse makes a great point here. Is if the three letters is too much of a high carry cost for you, then I do think there's definitely four-letter gems out there that's a bit cheaper, and even some five-letter gems out there that's a bit cheaper. What I like to do is before my three-letter, it's crazy. My three-letter, I got LMI. I just randomly kind of got it. I was looking at acronyms for LMI, and then I typed in LMI.com, and it turns out to be Liberty Mutual Insurance, right? And I originally had it listed for, I think, like 10 ETH or something like that. And I said, oh shit, when I found that out, I think I listed it for like 100 ETH or so. So if they want that, they're gonna have to pay that cost. And or they won't have it. And the more of the story of that is when you're hunting for three letters and four letters and even five letters, see if there's a .com for it available right now. See who's currently sporting the .com version, what the current acronyms for that are, what use cases there are, because there's going to be some gems out there, and there's some really really good ones, and then there's some bad ones that don't really have much variations to them. But let's keep moving right along. We have unemployed. The stage is yours, man.
GM 5159, Ron and Master. Thank you so much. We usually say it. Look, it's about 1:45 in the morning in Australia. I just wanted to jump in and congratulate everybody of what we have done. Obviously, I'm addicted to this show. I've been keep saying it like a broken record that it's the best damn show on Twitter, and I have actual proof for it. Just before I came up, I took a look, and it's about 124 people presenting here. Now, I say it's a damn best show on Twitter because the last time I checked, I had an interview with all my employees. I send them an email, I give them a signed contract, and I send them a PDF. And I remind them every Friday before they start work what their obligation is for what they get paid. And they still don't do it. But take a look at the community we all have built together, and that's thanks to the ones that they have taken initiative and try to build this community together. You didn't send PDF to anybody. You didn't send the invitation to anybody. And the person who was late for 8 minutes exactly, I can keep in record on you, the NFT verse. Send an actual apology to the actual room. So this is what the community is about. You build a community. Master, I was in your space. I absolutely loved it. I don't want to touch back on the Tokyo thing. I know that actually you own that, and I've been eyeballing that and Habibi at the same time. I'll probably never gonna afford them, but I love the way that you were so genuine and so informative in that place. And I remember I actually took note of the actual house. She said, "Oh crap, I think I should go and get my ENS domain." So the least of the story is that somebody actually was in a rush to go get her ENS domain. I love the opportunity that ENS, the utility, the opportunity that it provides to us with the skill set that Master has and many other has in these rooms, and the ability and the intelligence that they have. Just ENS gives you that like a boost of power that you can comfortably talk about it, and you have nothing to worry about because you know what you're saying is correct. Or at this stage, maybe the world is not ready for it, but the stage would be really really great. So coming back to the direction and the clubs that has been happening, we touched up on that in the three letters, the four digits, the 3 digits, and the 3 letters and stuff like this. Many people that they wanted to come in and they wanted to overextend themselves, but just take a look at your budget. Be responsible, like Master was say, quality is over quantity. Just be careful what you're doing. Just make sure you don't jump into something that you don't know about. If you don't know about it, coming to shows like this that helped me a lot might possibly help you as well, and try to give you as much information as you need. Thank you so much for building this community together. At the end of what ENS Punk said, ENS Punk is one of my mentors when it comes to respect, when it comes to a gathering, when it comes to looking after one another. Please do so. Respect one another, love one another, and if you can, help one another, check on one another. And this is a community that you might be talking to a PFP in the middle of God knows where, but there is an actual real person behind those PFPs, and they have gotten connected in one level or the other way. They might reach out to you and talk to you the way that they haven't been able to talk to anybody else. Keep that to yourself. Just keep it as a valuable thing that you have been privileged, you have been honored to that person finds comfort to talk to you about it. So keep it to yourself. It's not for you to share with anybody else. If you can help them, do so. If you cannot help them, that's something that they found comfort in it to talk to you about. And the otherwise, having a few big platforms that they are coming on board is I'm very bullish on that. Congratulations, you did it. Every single one of you coming in day out, you did it. You build this community. You are making awareness. You are shining, and everybody's noticing you. Congratulations, and I'm looking forward for another day that before my coffee or before I go to sleep, coming back over here and listening to you guys. I think I'm kind of addicted to you guys. But thank you for allowing me to come up.
Unemployed, awesome words, man. Look, this is the metaverse. We have some great business contacts, some great friends, great community here, and most of us have never met in real life, don't even know what each other looks like. It's awesome, and love to the good vibes. And also, I pinned that tweet up there, a screenshot of looks rare with that .eth, man. I just got a dopamine rush from hell when I saw that. I don't know why. I got super excited. And then the last thing is We've got a couple requests in no space, so if you're done talking today, if one or two people could drop down, we can maybe squeeze those last two people in and try and get it. It always heats up right at the end. There's so much to say. Hell, stuff even happens while we're on this space, right? That we want to talk about. So anyway, awesome, and back to you, Kev.
Yeah, Ron. I think this is so vital right here, right? We're in the this is the metaverse. We don't know how each other look. We don't know height, weight, culture, background, skin tone. That doesn't matter here, right? And I think we're witnessing the earliest version. Not, I think this is the earliest version of what the metaverse is right here, right now, right? Where it doesn't matter how you look, it doesn't matter what that is. It's about what character are you portraying, and we go from there. I think this space is better because we're not rocking I think it's just better because of the whole PFPs. And man, this what a beautiful time in history. I think this is. I think over the course of the next 10 years, we're really going to watch this thing evolve in a very beautiful way. But we have OX Wizard, and then I want to go to Cute Capital. Go ahead, OX.
Buenos dias. Good morning, everybody. I'm a little under the weather, so pardon the raunchy voice. I was thinking about Belize because I got really upset and was a total dick with him in a space about emojis one time. And I hate to think that my temper contributed to his pulling back on his participation in the spaces. And as somebody who wants to be, leader in the space, I can't tolerate that behavior for myself. And it is important to understand that kindness goes far. It's important to understand that, yeah, we all do have our bad days and all of that, but that reaching out, that bringing him up, even though he's not here, even though I don't really know the dude, he was always a devil's advocate in the spaces that I was in. And I kind of miss that. So on that side, I wanted to, uh, talk about that, apologize for being a dick myself on that end. And then I wanted to talk about what I'm excited about today, and that's the ENS Academy space and ENS Punk space, where we're going to talk about content development, like how to bring these domains and how to bring these properties and how to bring these ideas to life. And every single one of us needs to be in these spaces. Like this is even if you're not a developer, right? You're going to eventually interface with this because you're so early in a game that is about the future of how applications and services and the internet gets developed. So I want to see everybody in those spaces. Critical information is going to be given there on how to put value on what you have without having to worry about market conditions around a club, a palindrome, a Fibonacci sequence. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, anyway, good morning, everybody. And I'm already looking forward to the ENS Friday night. I need that whiskey club to come back for real.
Yeah, OX Wizard. Yeah, thank you for the. Well, I'm not gonna say thank you for the apology because it's not to me, but I guess if he was here, he would appreciate the apology. But guys, I want to say this. Listen, ladies and gentlemen. I'm gonna keep it straightforward with you. The guy doesn't want to be here, then he doesn't have to be here, right? We're not forcing nobody to be in this space. If you don't want to be in the space, then don't be in the space. Don't come. Don't show up. And that's exactly what he's doing. He's not coming. He's not showing up. And all good. The show moves on. One pony doesn't stop the show, right? So I had to get that out there. So let's not get all sad and sympathetic. Oh my gosh, he's not coming to the show. It's all good. The show goes on. Cute Capital, did you have something you want to say? Go ahead, Cute Capital.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. Be honest, I always shit my pants when I hit that request button. I'm so not comfortable speaking here. I never speak English in my daily life, but you guys made me do it from time to time. And it's always when I have something which I think is important. And today I want to just share a quick thought on publicburn.eth. And it's such an amazing project. If you don't know it, it's a project that collects inappropriate, racist, offensive ENS domains and sends them to the burn address publicly. And they announced it on their Twitter account. And yesterday I checked it, and I was shocked to see that they have only about 350, I guess, followers. And I couldn't believe it. I'm close to 6,000 followers, and all I do is, from what I can tell, having a lot of fun and a little bit of educating, but mostly doing memes and shit posts. And I feel I don't deserve this kind of following when such a project that is on a really great mission and doing really good for our space is at 350 followers. So I just want to promote it a little bit here. I think it's from Kels the Great, but perhaps you can say a few sentences about it. I think you know it better. And I'm asking everybody in this space right now, check their account, publicburn.eth. And together, I hope we can get the following up to 400. If everyone here in the space visits them, gives them a thumbs up, retweets them, I think we can make this follow, because this project deserves a 10K following at least. That's from me. Thank you for all you're doing.
Q Capital One. I say this, I think, every time you speak, man, your English is great. Right, your English is great. I know you probably get nervous, but you speak good English. You're very clear to understand. It's very fluent, bro. So I know it's probably a fear, probably more of a mental thing there, but I think you speak phenomenal. I think every speaker here on stage and listeners will agree upon that. And two, yeah, if you want to pin something to the top about the Public Burn Project, please feel free to do that, so we could have somewhere to kind of go to and retweet and like, or at least give the account a follow. That would be great. But in the meantime, let's go over. And I just want to say this, ladies and gentlemen, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Remember, I said this in the beginning of the show for those who've been here since the beginning. We have 6 people with their hand up, and we have 5 minutes left in the show. So, with that being said, guys, I'm going to get through all the speakers here, but I just want you guys to be conscious of the time we have left of here. We might go a little bit over today, but that's okay. Let's start off with Bashar. Bashar, the stage is yours, man.
All right, how's it going, guys? So I'm not gonna take less than a minute. I have 2 points. The first one was we, in order to hit our first million registration, 1,827 days. It took us 107 days after that to hit the second million, and so far 8 days from that, 8 days only to get 100,000 after that. So it's getting insane, man. And shout out to ENS Vision for the bulk registration. Honestly, that's what helped the adoption and the numbers to grow. The second thing I want to touch on, Gary, when he said about this shouldn't be the only space that announced this stuff. Yeah, I really respect that, appreciate it, but I definitely feel Gary when he says that, because every one of us should be, the preacher of this technology in general, wherever we go, whatever we do with everybody we know in our lives. So I believe in that. With that being said, the next person can take this mic from me.
Yep, let's go over to Novak. Thank you, Bashara. Novak, go ahead.
Yo, good morning, everyone. Hey, I just wanted to say I'm going to try better to log into the 100K Club account and share these spaces in the morning from that one, and invite that community in here, and also with the 24-hour club. With regard to these grants and the proposals, I had a question. I could save this for later since we're wrapping up, but maybe there's a quick kind of yes or no answer. Maybe Gary or somebody might know. With regard to the proposals, are we required to specify a specific goal and a budget, or will that give us better chances, etc.? Or is it all right, since it's quadratic funding, to kind of just say what we're about, what we're doing? So I guess I should get into the documentation on that. But before releasing the floor here, I just wanted to say Cute Capital is a super awesome community member who uploaded like screenshots of some of us following him and stuff, and made an NFT collection that was really creative that way. Maybe some of you are aware of that, but I just thought it was really flattering and cool of him. I mean, the guy has more followers than me, and he's like honoring me in this way. Like I followed him, and he's like putting it, memorializing it as an NFT. I just think the guy is really sharp and cool and just creative for doing that, and I really appreciate it. I thought it was really nice gesture and everything. So anyway, thank you, Q Capital, for doing that, and don't be nervous to speak here. It's awesome to have you here.
I would say it's not 100% required to have like anything. You could have like nothing in your grant proposal, but if you have like if you're clear about saying, hey, this is the problem in the world, and you're clear about saying this is the solution that I'm proposing, and you're sort of clear about like a little bit of the goals of like, because people they want to know who you are, they want to understand the problem, they want to believe in you, so you can get them to give you $1, right? So you just need to be clear enough with enough information. But if you were so detailed that you had all the budgeting and all that stuff, I mean, you don't want to overwhelm people with information, but just be strategic of making your point. It's really a strategy. You can go either way in how you want to present yourself, I would say.
Thanks, Gary.
Awesome. Ladies and gentlemen, let's go to 7170. The stage is yours.
Wow, what an absolute pleasure to be here with 5159. 5159, has anybody ever told you that your crown is fascinating? It just fits your head so perfectly. You're an absolute stud, sir. I'm absolutely mesmerized. So thank you for having me here. I'm going to touch upon Gary Palmer Jr. Gary, you said that you cannot believe why people are not talking about ENS. Well, I'm going to go ahead and tell you, sir, why they're not talking about ENS. Because it's boring. ENS has been very boring to the target audience, because the target audience since the beginning has been a bunch of memesters and youngsters and trollers, which is why the NFT community has been a big sprung and a big thing, because it is based on memesters and youngsters and trollers. So this is why I cannot believe that more people are not on ENS Maxi's NFT, because what is going to mix that boring of ENS and put in some awesomeness is the NFT behind it, which will bring in more people who are willing to talk about ENS more, because it will not be boring anymore. It will be fun now. So that is what is missing, and that's what I've been trying to tell people since day one, that the combination and the mixture of the ENS Maxis and ENS combined is what will bring more people to talk about ENS more, and ENS will have more people than they've ever had once they reach the NFT community, because just because ENS is a part of the blockchain does not mean it has reached the NFT community. And we have to start from there. We start from there and we go bigger and bigger. But the NFT community is going to be the ones who blow up ENS more than they've ever been blown up. Thank you.
I love that. Shout out to ENS Maxi NFT project, and also have to give a shout out to the .Earth project as well, which is going to be the first PFP project to mix all three PFPs, ENS subdomains, and ENS metadata, while also building out a new block explorer, a visual-based block explorer, which which may or may not have token gated equity, but just the fact that the PFP and the NFT is or the ENS subdomain and the PFP are connected, and then the ENS Maxis, I'm almost positive they're probably definitely going to do something very similar or the same, and in the future, like I'm telling you, like it's going to be shocking when people think, wow, you guys minted NFTs without subdomains or without ENS names? Like, how'd you do that? I mean, it's going to be shocking to people in the future. You have a smart contract and you don't know like what the ENS name is for that. You don't, like, how did you know? You just had to go click on someone's profile. It's weird. It's going to be shocking for people in the future.
Early Early indeed we are. 7170, I think you make interesting points there. I don't think ENS is as flashy as as some of these shit coins and PFPs, right? But I think it gets to a point where a lot of the community wakes up and they're tired of getting rugged. They're tired of false promises. They're tired of false utility. And they turn their head and they turn around and say, hey, this thing is legit. At least that's how I woke up. It's right. I was tired of the false promises of the rugs and all that other bullshit that came with the PFP NFT community. But let's keep it moving right along here. O1 has been waiting very patiently. O1, the stage is yours.
Hey, good morning, everyone. I'm going to be very quick here because I know you're running late. I think 7170 has a great point. We should definitely make the ENS community more fun, and he's doing a fantastic job there hosting the spaces for the maxis. Today, I just have one point, one note here for the ENS community, and one question for Master, if he can address that in a little bit. So I saw Zero Zero Coins is putting out a giveaway where he's giving out a maxi today, and that was scrolling through the answers, everybody replying with their wallets because that's what it requested, and people are actually dropping in their full wallet addresses there, and that's kind of worrisome because I think they're missing the point of ENS. So I put out a tweet asking people, encouraging people to actually set up their primary ENS domains instead of using their full wallets because it doesn't make sense. We're in ENS. We should set that up as soon as possible. So do that, guys. And I put out the tweet along with a video there that I found online that it can be done in 30 seconds. So check that out. The question I had for Master, because I was listening to him this morning talking about ENS at a different spaces, and it's related to the names that we're minting, that we're creating. We're always trying to get something very short and memorable, something that people don't have to explain too much. And I'm seeing a lot of people minting and getting different types of domains with keycaps and emojis, dollar signs, underscores, and that requires some explanation. And what got me a little concerned was that Master was actually encouraging people to type up the domain instead of copy and paste because there could be a virus in the computer that will actually paste the incorrect wallet address, even if you copy and paste. So if Master could elaborate a little bit on that, and just let us know his thoughts about these domains that require more explanation, I would be very thankful.
Yes, thanks much for the question. While you are describing that, I think I found out one of my old Twitters and I just pinned on the top about the emoji domains. You can take a read on the thread. This is my thought because I think domain is invented to avoid copy and paste because we have no knowledge to the hash address nor the IP address. That's why we need the human readable names. As long so because it's already human readable, it doesn't make sense for you to use the copy and paste function again because it is possible for your keyboard or your computer, get rugged and copy paste doesn't work. And when people are doing the wiring from one to another, and the both party will need to do the copy paste, all along, which add the vulnerable part. And top priority is the security. We want to make sure everything on the crypto is all guaranteed 100% safe because what is done here. So there is no retrieve key. There's no customer support you can go for and get it undone. So you can take a read on a thread. So even it's a domain. I don't encourage it to be too long because if it's too long, you still need to copy and paste. And it's invented to avoid copy and paste at the first place. This is my thought. Although I think lots of emoji domain looks very cool, they will have their own market. But standardization is the top, a priority of me. I will always look for the most standard ones. Maybe it can be from the keyboard, from your PC, or the keyboard from the mobile phone. I mean, maybe the heart emojis as well. But just try to stick with the standardization because if regardless of which language you input at the beginning, eventually you still need to control space or shift to switch it back and press .eth. right? So yeah, try to avoid that behavior too much. That's my opinion. Yeah.
Awesome. I hope that answered the question. Let's go with Just Shields. Just Shields, the stage is yours, man.
Thank you, brother 5159. And guys, that goes to as what Master was discussing in 01. That was an amazing question because Gary added it. Gary added some details to it yesterday, and I totally appreciate it. And then obviously, when I was in Master Space, he highlighted it again, and now you were able to, ask him to elaborate. And I just want to say thank you for sharing those concepts because, for me, like all these things are super new, and now I'm a lot more careful, especially when I'm going and supporting other people with their ENS domains. I would always try to copy paste it, but now I'm actually going to start typing it. One thing I do want to share, which I feel is kind of important, uh, because I'm, it's like a mixed feeling, and everybody's now trying to figure out how to patch back. And Dr. F was here, and he wanted to apologize. I think that's a very big play as well. And this is something I really want to say, and I feel like this is something that's the whole community is the need. And I also agree with 5159. If someone doesn't want to be there, it's completely fine. It's their decision, right? But what I'd like to say is, you can choose to rise, and the choice is yours. But if there is ever a winner inside of you, then a true winner will battle it out and find that winning spirit. And I think there was something that maybe 5159 said, and he said, "You are always in the game as long as you don't take yourself out." So just remember that, guys. If you're a true winner, then yes, there will be challenges. Yes, there will be huddles. What do you do to stay winning? What do you tell yourself when you're all by yourself? It's very important, the words that you tell yourself. It's kind of key to a winning strength. So just wanted to just share that out with everybody. Because I feel like this world, together here in this updates, this is where I protect myself and my brains from other things that are going around. So this is like the fruit for the tree for my mind, and so I can't just thank enough. So 5159, thank you, Master Gary Palmer Jr. and everybody else. And guys, do not miss out the NFT Worst ENS Friday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This is where we get our food for thoughts for the brains. And then at ENS Friday night, that's where you hang loose and you actually connect with people and you actually get to know the humans as well. So thank you for that. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Just Shields. Let's go right on over to our anchor leg. You are the anchor. Bring us home, please, and thank you. We have Gold Star Gway. The stage is yours.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you for having me up. I'll keep it short, but I just wanted to say thank you, and especially to Just Shills and the spaces that they have at night, because Just Shills has inspired me to share what I know with people IRL, and I'm not an expert, especially in cybersecurity or smart contracts or anything. But if we don't share if we don't share what we know with others to help protect them, then the space can just quickly get like uglier and uglier. And I think it's important to always remember the golden rule: treat others the way that you would like to be treated. So that's my food for thought for today. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Treat others the way you want to be treated. That is the golden rule you learned in elementary school, right? Uh, yeah, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I think this was a phenomenal show today, one of the better shows that we had. So thank you all for tuning in. Thank you guys for joining. Thank you to the speakers. Thank you to the listeners. And ladies and gentlemen, just a reset here. We do the show every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So join us again tomorrow. There is no outro music because I don't know where my laptop is. But with that being said, peace out, y'all.